of along the general nuance of the word, it is actually a quite literal sense pointing towards this. Because you do not understand, and to be quite frank, this book changed my life. Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Podcast. Today we'll be summarizing and reviewing The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis.
Alright, let's do it. So first off, let's talk about the meaning behind the book, or at least what Lewis meant by the title, The Great Divorce. When Lewis came up with the title of the book, he was referencing the writer William Blake's poem titled The Marriage of Heaven and Hell. The poem expressed beliefs that good and evil fed off each other, but Lewis wanted to make it clear that there is separation of good and evil in the afterlife.
Okay, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's start the summary. At the beginning of the book, we are introduced to an unnamed narrator who is in a bus line. The story begins in a cloudy place called Greytown, which is basically hell. Once on the bus, a talkative man sits by the narrator, and the bus ascends into the sky and eventually arrives in a much brighter place. Where they arrive is pretty much a midway between heaven and hell, or Greytown. This place is referred to as the valley and mountains can be seen, which represent heaven. The passengers, including the narrator, get off the bus and notice that they become translucent like ghosts. They also realize that the things around them are very heavy and solid, so that even walking on grass hurts. Shortly after their arrival, a group of bright, solid people that are called spirits head towards them.
The rest of the novel essentially describes the encounters between the ghosts and spirits, where most of the ghosts can't seem to let go of their old beliefs and wants of their old life, on Earth or in Greytown. Instead of leaving their old ways behind and going to heaven, the majority of the ghosts decide to return to Greytown. After some time, the narrator meets George MacDonald, a 19th century Scottish writer and minister who the narrator admires greatly. MacDonald guides the narrator for the rest of the book and explains things about heaven, hell, and about the people who decide where they want to go. The interactions that both the narrator and MacDonald encounter represent the free will that we are given in order to choose where we want to end up in the afterlife.
One message that MacDonald explains is that when we surrender earthly desires, we can become more beautiful, more powerful, and more loving than what is thought to be possible. The book ends with the narrator waking up, realizing that he had been sleeping the whole time.
Okay, well now we've gotten you, our audience, caught up with what goes on in the book. Let's try to get a deeper understanding of certain aspects of the book, as well as discussing the themes that we enjoyed seeing the most.
One major topic seen in the book is the topic of free will. In the story, the ghosts had the free will to either go to heaven or stay in the Greytown, but it required them to give up the things of Greytown and the earth. Many ghosts rejected this offer because they were unwilling to leave these things behind. There was, however, one ghost that decided to give up his earthly desires, and he was transformed into something more beautiful and mighty than before. This theme of free will translates into our lives as well, since we can relate to the difficulties of trying to give up the things of this world. While reading the book, it is easy to judge the ghosts for not going to heaven, but when you relate the book to our everyday lives, you realize how difficult that choice really is. I think the main takeaway from the theme is that since we are given free will, we should make conscious efforts to ensure that we do not stray further from heaven and God like the ghosts of Greytown did. Making the right choice, as seen in the book, is so much more rewarding than sticking to the things of this earth.
Yeah, going off what you said about the pleasures of Greytown, it seems like the reason it's so difficult to do so is because we are so used to enjoying these things rather than focusing on God. Whether we know it or not, our love for these things keep us away from God at the end of the day. When we are all given the opportunity to choose God, depending on what we choose, it is up to up to us to decide how we want our future to play out.
Yeah, overall, I think we both really enjoyed the book, and we definitely recommend it to anyone looking for a good, thought provoking novel to pick up. It was a really quick read, but the message will last for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for watching, y'all, and stay tuned for our next episode where we will be reviewing the newest episode of Captain Underpants. Until then, peace out.